Hey, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. I know that there's just a few more people we're waiting for before we get kicked off. Put in the chat window where you're joining us from. I know we have a very international audience today. Oh, wow, South Africa, right out the bat. Great. Atlanta, Slovakia, Sweden. Oh, this is just great already. Texas, all right, the great country of Texas. Great, Chris. Columbia, Atlanta, love this. Nowhere, Missouri. I like that, Cody. Nowhere, Missouri.
I think that's an actual
Right.
city in Missouri. Nowhere.
Portugal, Davenport, Florida. All right. We're just going to give it a few more seconds here to let everybody join. But if you just joined, put in where you're joining us from in the chat window. This is great. What a very international audience we're getting. Anyone from, I guess it's the time zone difference. Anyone from Asia Pacific? I guess it's like, what, 2 in the morning there? Never mind. Portugal, Israel. All right. I think we're 2 minutes past. Let's dig in. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the IRONSCALES Quarterly Partner Pulse webinar for Q2 2025. I'm Brian Thomas. I'm your host today, and I'm genuinely excited to be here with all of you, our valued partners. Thank you so much for showing up. You are at the heart of our mission to revolutionize email security and drive customer success. Today, we're diving into updates. We're diving into tools and strategies to help you win in the market and help protect your clients from evolving threats. We've got a packed session ahead, so let's dive in. Before we do that, just a few housekeeping items. If you could go back one slide. Everyone's going to be on mute. If you have questions, please enter them into the chat right there. We can see them. We'll have a short Q&A session at the very end, but let's kick things off right now. Next slide, audience. All right. First things first, the agenda. Here's what we've got lined up for you today. First, we'll introduce some new faces on our team who are here to support your growth. Then we'll unveil 2 new resources, a risk calculator and a white paper called Your SEG is Missing Phishing Attacks. Here's the proof. Both designed to help you show the clients the value of our solutions. After that, we'll focus on driving customer success with updates on new features like DMARC management and deepfake protection, plus a peek at our product roadmap. We'll also share upcoming events and wrap up with the Q&A. It's going to be a great session, and I'm pumped to guide you through it. Let's get into the team members first, starting with myself. So let's take a moment to introduce some additions to the IRONSCALES team, each bringing some expertise from the channel to help you grow and succeed. First off, I'm Brian Thomas. I've had the privilege of building very high performance channel teams across organizations like SHI, Cisco Meraki, WatchGuard, Malwarebytes, Arista Networks. My background, I think, speaks for itself. I know so many of you. I've delivered so many scalable solutions over the years. Next, we have Derek, who delivers over 20 years of channel sales experience from companies like BlackBerry and Sony. He is already hitting the ground running just a few weeks in right now. He comes from a ton of innovative startup experience. Last but not least, we have Eddie Phillips, who's our Senior Partner Success Manager. He's led MSPs successfully for 14 years, so he completely understands the challenges you faced firsthand in the field. His role is to ensure you have the support and the resources to outperform the competition and achieve lasting success. We're all very deeply committed to your growth and excited to collaborate with you. All this to say, we're heavily investing in the channel. We have 100% channel first philosophy, and we're investing here on the people side, big time. So that's the team. Let's dive into the new resources and some compelling research from our white paper. I'm thrilled to pass the mic to Audion Paxson, who is our principal technical strategist. Audion, it's all yours.
Thanks, Brian. So
Yep.
yeah, this is a project that I'm really excited about. I've had a lot of fun working on, and so I'm going to go into the detail, a little bit of background, and tell you about the resource itself and how you guys can use it. So background on what led up to this in terms of why I did this. We have over 15,000 customers, and I noticed, a big chunk of them are still using SEG. So it kind of got me thinking. So if we got back up a little bit, everybody probably understands this and seen this slide or something similar to it before, but the traditional way that still a lot of companies address email security is with a SEG. And the SEG is upstream, it's inline, it requires clients or you to redirect all the email traffic to a SEG, and then it's routed back to Microsoft or Google Workspace. So that sits upstream. It has a lot of shortcomings that most of us are very familiar with. It's built on more on static rules. It's strong at dealing with some spam and dealing with spam for sure, and basic phishing, especially if it matches rules and filters, things like that. But it can't really keep up with constantly evolving email threats. And then our approach is one where we're using an ICAS. And ICAS is different, because it plugs in directly as an API. You don't have to reroute your email. And there's no index changes, and it constantly using AI, an adaptive AI, pardon me. The more you use it, the better it gets. It's continuously learning from all the employees and all interactions with email. And anytime somebody flags something for investigation, if it's confirmed or passed as a phishing or spam, that continues to evolve the machine learning and retrain it on a regular basis. So instead of having just static AI that gets updated every now and then, it's continuously learning and continuously getting better for every client and across all 15,000 IRONSCALES customers. So I was thinking about that dynamic between those two. It had me start thinking. We have a claim on our webpage we've been doing for a while that we claim that we catch the fish that others miss. And it's a really accurate statement because it helps people understand exactly what we do, and it has a bold claim that we can back up in terms of how our approach is different and how it's more efficient, how it continuously learns. But then I started thinking, wait, if SEGs are still there and we still have some customers who are using them, then we're in a unique position. And what I mean by that is, as an ICAS, we can actually we're downstream from anybody who's using a SEG, and we can count exactly how many phishing emails they're missing. And that's exactly what we did. So I ran a DNS script and to find out which of our customers are currently using a SEG. And I was able to identify those and identify which ones they're using. So these are the top 4 that I found: Barracuda, Cisco, Mimecast, and Proofpoint. So then what we did is we analyzed 30 days worth of their email. And we analyzed every one of the missed fish in terms of the type of category and everything. We counted exactly how many there were. We said, okay, how can we use this as a resource for our partners and our sellers? Here's the results that we found. Across the board, across all client sizes, for all 4 SEGs combined, on average, for every 100 mailboxes, we're catching 67.5 more fish. Or another way to say that, the SEGs in aggregate, on average, are missing 68 phishing attacks every 30 days for every 100 users. Every 100 users is meant to help you guys be able to apply it based on the size of client you're talking to. So if you have a client who has 1,000 mailboxes, for instance, then they're missing 680 phishing attacks every 30 days. You think about that. That means that a phishing attack got missed by the SEG and also got missed by Microsoft or Google Workspace. So it's probably not a super basic, easy to identify attack on average. More times than not, it's going to be a more advanced attack, something that's an involved attack. And so that means, what I'm trying to say there is that means this is going to be a phishing attack that's going to be a little more sophisticated, and there's a greater chance that an employee who gets it in their inbox is going to click on that link. So it's not just that they miss these attacks, but more times than not, these are going to be more advanced attacks that are harder to detect by humans. So the average sample size across the board here was 548 mailboxes per customer. If I break this down by SEG, and I have all this in the white paper, we're going to share a link here for the white paper in a moment. Each one of these, you'll see that there's a difference, big difference between them. Where Proofpoint missing about 69 attacks, Mimecast 39, Barracuda 101, and Cisco 52. And something that you'll notice in the white paper is I break it down also by size customer. So you can see for customers between 1 and 100 mailboxes, 100, 250, et cetera, that the smaller customers under 1,000, it's even worse for them. And what's interesting, my analysis on that, what I determined there, and a couple spot checks, is that it doesn't mean that they're using a different product. It just really emphasizes one of the challenges and the downsides of using a SEG is that they require regular maintenance. If you only run these with their default settings or your original settings and don't update them on a regular basis in terms of policies and filters, then they're going to get worse over time. So our approach actually gets better over time. The more you use it, the better it gets, more accurate it gets. With the SEGs, unless you feed and water it on a regular basis, it's going to get worse and worse in terms of its detection accuracy. So if you're wondering what your SEG or what a client SEG might be missing, we built a calculator. And we'll share a link on that here in just a moment. But on this calculator, we give you the ability to pick the size customer that your client that you're working with and what particular SEG that they're using or maybe considering using. And you can show them empirical data, how many they're missing. So the calculator does some of the math for you based on the customer size over 30-day periods. You don't have to multiply that. It's just say over a 30-day period. In this example, if you have between 500 and 750 mailboxes and you're using Proofpoint, what we're seeing in the real world is they're missing 906 phishing attacks over a 30-day period. And we had the breakdown by category. So I've been able to talk to some of our customers and some prospective customers about their feedback on this. And they've all been very surprised. And I've seen some that say we're seeing. So this isn't meant to throw them under the bus. This is designed to help validate what IT security leaders are seeing in the real world. And it makes them feel like, okay, it's not just me, right? This is something happening across the board. So on the white paper, you're going to get a lot more details in there where I have a breakout by client size and by vendor. And I go into the details of some of the most common attacks that are missed and why they're missed. And also just the details of the study, because numbers say one thing, but if you can open it up a little bit and show people the process and how we got to the numbers, it helps them in terms of credibility, and it helps them understand the approach there, and they can apply it to themselves as well. So that's it right there. And if you have any questions, we'll address those at the end during the Q&A.
Thank you, Adian. Really appreciate it. And if you could minimize the video window, it's showing up at the bottom right of the presentation, just so everyone can see the slides moving forward. Thank you, sir. All right, now
sorry about that.
all good. Now we're going to shift gears here. We're going to shift gears to about one of our most exciting new product releases, that is DMARC management. To walk us through that and why it's a game changer for our partners and customers alike, please welcome Felix Velez, our sales engineer for the channel. Felix, it's all over to you.
Perfect. Appreciate it, Brian. As Brian said, I'm part of the sales engineering team here at IRONSCALES. Recently had the opportunity to celebrate my 3-year anniversary here. So the IRONSCALES tool, when I first started 3 years ago, is not the same IRONSCALES tool that it is today. So it's always very exciting to announce newer functionality that kind of branches away from the general email security and security awareness training that we already excel at. But today, to discuss DMARC management, if you could skip ahead, it's kind of talking about why DMARC and why now. So first and foremost, major providers such as Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft are enforcing DMARC policies to be established and be configured properly. Most recently, Microsoft actually brought to the attention that for an organization, daily outbound messages, 5,000 messages or above or more for Outlook, Hotmail, and Live. And if it's not properly configured for SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, not only will the emails go to they won't only just go to spam, but they'll outright be blocked, rendering them undeliverable. So some of the ramifications here are higher bounce rates. So non-compliant emails would be outright rejected. Brand reputation damage. So inability to authenticate emails can result in additional phishing and spoofing. Reduced deliverability. So very problematic, especially here. When we're discussing prepping for these meetings, getting insight from marketing teams when they sent out these campaigns and reminders to join and new marketing materials, they're not getting the same effectiveness, and partner relationships dwindle. And then regulatory and financial risk. So again, as we tighten these policies globally, organizations without strong DMARC risk the being non-compliant. So why DMARC with IRONSCALES? Outbound email security is increasing blind spot. But when we get into the next slide, granting additional visibility to not only see and control where your emails are being sent and being able to visually see through threat maps the domains that are being used across the globe, visibility into geomapping, so where the emails are being accepted, denied, bounced back, as well as the reasoning behind these. So another key call out is Gartner added DMARC to one of the 4 tenets of secure email infrastructure. So in conjunction with SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, this will allow for the organization to verify and prove that you are who you say you are. The other critical component is DMARC, and just being across the board more crucial for organizations to adopt this in general.
Can we go to the next slide, Felix?
Oh, yes, Audience. Yep.
All right.
So just some key call outs into existing methodologies to managing DMARC, whether it's manual through your own DNS or through other competing solutions. So it's managing DMARC, especially manually, is very complex and prone to errors. So if you misconfigure this via the DNS, it's not only tedious, but because of the tedious and complex nature of it, it could lead to the misconfigurations will break the email deliverability. With IRONSCALES, one-click setup, the wizard tool is extremely straightforward and simplistic to use to manage all 3, DKIM, DMARC, and SPF with guided automation. So SPF and DKIM misconfigurations could also lead into security gaps. So not only will they fail to authenticate and render them undeliverable, but attackers could still spoof and emulate the domain, creating vectors of attack for your organization, impacting brand reputation. So the other key call out there with SPF is that you'll have limited queries with managing your DNS and up to 10. With our SPF flattening, it simplifies the process, but also limits the amount of queries being ingested from the DNS for more reliable authentication, and then preventing these lookup failures and just a smooth email authentication process. And last but not least is the actual monitoring of these threat vectors. So with a manual process in configuring your DMARC, you won't be able to have the same visibility or real-time threat analysis that IRONSCALES will be able to provide. So downloading an XML and scrubbing this for any variations or deviations to detect the spoofing and attempts for authentication failures. But here we'll provide real-time monitoring, one pane of glass to be able to monitor these security alerts, and then be able to take remediation action directly from the IRONSCALES dashboard.
You know, Felix, last week at RSA, I was demonstrating this to some of our customers, and several of them said for sure simplifying this was a big plus. And they said, I know how to do it. It just takes time and I don't like doing it. And every time I do it, I always worry about breaking something. But the biggest thing that a lot of them gave feedback on was the 2 different types of reports and visibility. First one being that they really like being able to, on a regular basis, show that their emails are actually being delivered and being received properly on, for all their outbound email. And then the ability to see who's spoofing their domain or the likeness of their domain helps them, have an understanding of what's going on out there for the attackers, and they can go ahead and make adjustments on their end to compensate as well. So that gives them a reason, and they said that has actually a lot of value on a regular basis for them to monitor both of those, deliverability and threat attempts.
Exactly right, Audience. And really appreciate you adding the additional context from the existing feedback that we received. We won't be able to go through the demo today to show, but here, just to recap, to kind of highlight all the key aspects of IRONSCALES DMARC management. Again, simplify email authentication, defend against spoofing and phishing attacks, improve email deliverability, again, to reiterate the SPF flattening, and then actionable insights. Exactly to Audience point, simplifying this and providing those visual statistics on where the emails are being delivered, what's failing, taking those remediation actions, and then consolidating this again with email security, SAT, DMARC, and with the exciting upcoming features that we're going to get into momentarily. Again, just a more holistic approach to email security, saving time, effort, and headache for you and your clients.
All right. Thank you, Felix. Appreciate it, good sir. Thank you for highlighting DMARC and how DMARC management is simplifying email security, boosting deliverability for our customers. Now let's shift gears. Let's talk about a growing threat in cybersecurity, and that is deepfakes. So to share how IronScales is tackling this with our deepfake protection feature, I am thrilled to introduce Eyal and our founder and CEO. Eyal, the floor is all yours.
Thanks, Brian. So when I started 11 years ago, there was what we now call phishing 1.0. It's a world where the segs were dominating, and basically we're focusing a lot on scrubbing incoming emails and look for bad links, bad attachments, and try to filter out emails that were mainly kind of trying to basically compromise the endpoint, install a backdoor, or try to convince someone to click on a link and steal their credentials, etc., etc. When I was started, we basically introduced a new kind of way to think about phishing, because what really started back then was what we call now phishing 2.0. It's all these kind of emails with no links and no attachments, emails that were designed to hack the business process. They were trying to convince people to pay fake invoices, wire money to the wrong accounts, go and buy gift cards, and basically lure people to do all these kind of things that they are not supposed to do. What's common for phishing 1.0 and 2.0 that are very textual in nature. Again, one is more link and file-based, the second is more contextual and intent-based. So with phishing 2.0, we took it down to the mailbox level and we started to extract intent. We learned about user behavior and we were able to build models to detect anomalies and basically flag out emails that are not necessarily bad by content, but they have a bad intent behind them. And by bringing these two things together, like intent and context and content, we're able to stop a lot of the phishing emails that the seg only, that again was focused on content, was missing. What's really exciting right now that we're in the same pivotal moment, 10, 11 years after, where phishing is evolving again and shifting. And now we are kind of experiencing or starting to see what we call phishing 3.0. And what makes phishing 3.0 very interesting, that is for the first time, email is not just text. Email is not just in the inbox anymore. Email phishing is becoming multimodal type of attack, which means we're seeing some cloned voices and generated emails and generated videos and faces and stuff like that. And the other kind of layer of complexity that phishing 3.0 is introducing to the world is the use of agentic AI in order to deliver these type of threats. Now, when you think about phishing 3.0, it might sound a little bit futuristic, but in the next slide, you can see that although we believe that we have a little bit more time to deal with phishing 3.0, reality is kind of hitting us in the face in terms of phishing 3.0 is already here. We're already seeing a huge increase in Gen AI kind of powered fraud and phishing around the globe. It's growing in 1,000% globally and 1,700% in the US and North America alone. So phishing 3.0 is not kind of a futuristic problem. It's a right here and now type of problem that we already have to deal with. So we took all this kind of information and we surveyed our existing customer base, and more than 207 of them basically told us at the end of the day that they are concerned, okay? They are concerned right now, and they are definitely very, very concerned about the future and what's coming around deepfakes. So IT professionals are even starting to take active kind of measures in order to make sure that they are protected in the next 12 to 18 months. And this was Q2 of last year, so a lot of companies are already looking for technical controls and other things that they can do in order to make sure that they are ready for phishing 3.0. Next slide. So what IRONSCALES is doing, and we're very, very excited about it, and we unveiled it in RSA last week, is that IRONSCALES is basically launching the first deepfake solution out there. And the idea is to be able to deal with phishing over Teams. So we will be able to provide live video protection, video and voice protection in team calls. And the idea is to make sure that if someone is joining a call, okay, someone that is external to the organization is joining a call and is not a real person, we will be able to detect it. Again, we are stepping into the world of multimodality and multi-step. So a BC email that started in the inbox can easily kind of progress into a text message, voice message, and then a simple ask to jump on a Teams or a Zoom call. And this is where they can use that medium, this channel and modality in order to convince people to do the stuff that they are trying to do. Next slide, audience, please. So in order to tackle that, again, like I said, we want to kind of make sure that we are hooking ourselves not just into people's inboxes, but we want to be whenever they are communicating, and the layers of protection that we are using in order to detect AI-generated attacks are deepfake artifact detection, which means we are looking into the stream and the voice, and we're trying to basically decide if this was AI generated or if this is a legitimate video or voice that is being kind of produced by the real person. The second is a more biometric identity verification, so all the facial recognition, voice recognition, fingerprinting, and stuff like that in order to detect impersonations. And last but not least is, again, we came from a very contextual kind of background by going down to the mailbox and analyzing user behavior. We are sticking to this concept of, hey, it's not just content, it has to be the context as well that doesn't make sense. So we're analyzing communication style and looking across the different communication channel in order to try and find anomalies on that level as well. And by using these three different layers, we'll be able to detect things that are AI generated. So let me show you kind of a quick video on how it's the kind of the concept and how it looks, and then we can jump into the how the dashboard is going to look for you guys as well. So this is an example of a Teams conversations. Obviously, like now we're looking at all the three things that that I mentioned, and in this case, you will be able to see that we flagged one of the users as a not real person. We will immediately show an alert to the other users and say, hey, we think it's not real. For the user that we believe that is impersonated, we will ask him to validate himself, to authenticate himself as out of the meeting, or kind of follow up any kind of policy that the company has decided. Can you still hear me? Because I'm getting some connection. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So on the admin side, yeah. Okay, thank you. So on the admin side, obviously, like I said, we were going to activate the three different sensors, the artifacts, the identity, biometric, and the contextual kind of detection. And for the first time ever, we'll be able to kind of provide our the meetings that they had, and one second.
You cut out there.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Disconnected Zscaler. I hope it's going to help. So we're going to give them some good indication about the meetings that they had. Like, what do we think about the meetings? So for the first time, they will have real visibility into their online meetings, including some KPIs indication about how many external users, what do we think about the meetings and the interaction, and even some of the stuff that was discussed. Obviously, we will look into the discussion topics because this is the contextual kind of elements of, hey, if we think that there is a potential impersonation, do we think that they are trying to kind of extract information or convince someone to do something that they're not supposed to do? And you can see the different kind of things from financial requests and financial data to other PII type of elements. Obviously, we'll be able to give them kind of a close look into every single meeting. They will be able to double click on a meeting, see all the participants, and get very, very interesting kind of metrics and information and intelligence about who was on the meeting, what do you think about each of the participants. If one of them looks suspicious, we will tell who, and then we will tell them why. And again, we will dig into the different kinds of sensors and show them, for example, in this case, if you move to the next one, we will show why we think this participant is specific, why the voice match was not great in this sense, or the voice fingerprinting element of our detection. We can even do some tone matching and some more advanced anomaly detection and fingerprinting. We can look into things like on the metadata front. On the next click, we'll be able to show you, like, where he's calling from, what emails he was using in order to join this meeting, geolocation, even devices that are using IPs, and all these kind of metadata components that we're taking into consideration when deciding if a meeting is, or if a person is real or not. Again, we will have some detection summary. We'll show you how we don't like this kind of login based on some of the parameters that we've sent, and he failed verification when we asked him to verify himself using MFA or a multi-factor authentication mechanism. And obviously, when we look at the behavioral context analysis, we'll be able to show, hey, we've done some analysis on tone, voice, demeanor, and stuff like that, and show how similar it is to how we normally kind of see this person communicating and engaging, and a quick view into the topics that are being discussed, from payment, financial, and the like. Last but not least, we'll do the AI artifacts analysis and kind of try and detect if it was synthesized by AI or it's real. We're doing a frame-by-frame type of analysis, and we'll give you a clear indication about what we think about the video and the voice that are being used on this specific meeting. So that's something that we're very excited about. Coming soon, Q3 will have obviously early access to this tool, and Phishing 3.0 is really where we see kind of the future of phishing and what companies has to make sure that they're ready for. Back to you, Brian. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eyal. Thank you so much. Obviously, this is a major differentiator for IronScales. Appreciate that overview and a bit of a demo. I'm going to take it with some wrap-up items, including a promo, and then where you can find us next with some action items. So, audience, if we could go to the next slide. All right, agnostic of where you're coming, to us from, whether you're a distributor, whether you're a reseller, whether you're an MSP or MSSP, we absolutely have a promo going on in Q2 that is tailor-made for you. So for new logos, we've got SLED education discounted pricing, up to 2 months free. We're running a SEG buyout campaign with our resellers. We're targeting Mimecast, Proofpoint, and Barracuda for obvious reasons. Up to 6 months credit available to buy out the renewal, matched per mailbox pricing. On the upsell side and on the MSP, MSSP side, we're doing discounted pricing that's locked in. For Complete Protect, we're also doing the same on Security Awareness Training Suite. So please reach out. Reach out to us ASAP. If any of those look appealing to you, you can find us at partners@ironscales.com. Again, agnostic of where you're coming from, distributor, MSP, MSSP, or VAR/reseller, please get in contact with your channel account manager, and we'll walk you through the T's and C's and all of the details that surround these excellent promos. They are time-bound. They do expire June 30th of 2025, so please get in contact with us immediately to get into the details there. Last slide, and then we can break into some Q&A, live Q&A, as I invite all of our folks back to the panelist section. Post-webinar action items, please get to us, see us at the events we are going to. Just go to ironscales.com/events to see exactly where we are. We're going to be around the world over the next 12 months. Please join us at our events. learn more about our product updates. That is the link to our knowledge base. We will share this deck. Get in touch with us at partners@ironscales.com. If you are unfamiliar with or need to get in contact with your channel account manager, agnostic of where you're coming from, partners@ironscales.com will always lead you in the right direction. So that concludes our webinar today. That was a great, efficient use of time. I'm going to start live by answering a few questions that are already in the chat, and then we can get into it with some live questions. It looks like we have 10 to 15 minutes, so we can get into just about any question that you have. So is the deepfake protection included, or will there be an additional cost? Chris, it looks like I already took a swipe at that. Thank you. It will be included in our complete protect package. That is accurate. When do these capabilities launch? We are shooting for a Q3 production release. Eyal, I don't know if you wanted to mention anything else on that, but other than that, Q3 production release is what the schedule is. Correct?
Yeah, it's going to have a limited availability in Q3. Again, it will be included. We have a promotion for Q2 for the early access to deepfake as well as part of Complete Protect. So if you're interested now, it's a good time to be part of our Complete Protect package.
Good stuff. Richard Hawkins, we have Essential, Protect, or Core. Can you share details on Complete? Looks like, yep. Chris already responded. It includes features like account takeover, complete security awareness training capabilities. We can send you, though, the detailed PDF of exactly what the breakdown is in our core bundles. We'll happily send that over either in the chat or via email. Currently with Pax8, is there any benefit of moving to direct? We will reach out to you directly, Cody Faust. No problem. Looks like Chris is on that already. What other questions do you guys have? Please put them in the questions section to the bottom right. All right. Colin once.
Easy audience.
Bueller.
Either everything we shared was perfect, on point, or didn't make any sense at all. Right? Easy questions today.
All right, maybe this one's for you. Audience, where can we find integration documentation?
Actually, if you go to our support page, our knowledge base, we have, you're talking about integration with, mail services like Google Workspace and Microsoft 365 can be found there. And we have new integrations that we're always announcing, and all those details are also in the knowledge base and step-by-step instructions as well.
Stuff looks like Laura's doing that as well. She provided the link. Good stuff. Cody will get back to you on the Pax8 question on benefits of moving to direct. No problem. All right, we'll hold on for a couple more seconds here to see if anyone else had any other questions. And if not, we are going to wrap this early. All right. Great. Thank you all for joining the webinar. This was excellent. We will see you again in the next few months. Cheers. Take care.